last time, we were having our stalkers following the trace of hazard sounds, and uh, the moment we interrupted, we just saw our stalkers approaching this man exiting from one of the alleys. Uh, and he's wounded by some kind of bite, and he's acting strange. So in some way, he's coughing this black blood, and is acting very aggressively, not towards you, but towards the entire situation. He's kind of like fighter that has been put on the ropes, and now he's trying to get back again. And you can see that while he's not wounded in some critical way, he kind of like stumbles and he falls, and then he tries to get up, and he's trying to follow the sounds of the protest that is going on a pair of streets far away, and as you can trace the sound. And the thing that we didn't really state is the time, because right now uh, the sunlight is fading off. It's almost evening, and the lights are already flickering, and so the streets are beginning to light with this with electrical lights, and so we have this kind of contrast where the dim dying lights and the electrical lights are encountering in a way. And right now, this person is ignoring you, is not paying attention to you. He just wants to get back, and he just stumbling. It's really easy to catch him. So, what do you want to do?
And in the general layout of the city, the hounds had led us toward the docks, if I recall. So are we now?
Oh no, you're not docks. You're in one of the streets that you have already followed. So it's on the north near the railway station. But the docks are on the opposite side of you. Yeah.
So, question number one, is this one of those Italian streets or intersections which are really close and really tall, and all the little cars are parked on the sidewalks like this? Or is it one of these more open, kind of really Roman looking, wide avenues?
I would say that it is sort of like the second one, the latter.
Okay.
And as the I will say the avenues and alleys that you can already observe, the streets that open to the sides are kind of like the former, so this kind of maze daedalus, while the others are okay. Just imagine a residential area, and you're quite good to go. Okay, go listen.
So, one question: how far are we from this man that has been beaten? More or less.
Because, now I'm going to use one of the suggestions of From and try to calculate with axes. Okay. 10 meters. More or less.
Okay, I would like to use one of my disciplines, Delve, because I would like to discover who has attacked this person. So let me grab a dice roller.
Of course.
I think that I have something to say in this context as well. Hazard, in the microsecond between the last time we played and now, has realized that he was not thinking clearly, because I had done my sensitivity roll, and I wanted to ask you, Adriano, if I am remembering correctly, because this is kind of important.
Sure.
That this is an actual living person. Right.
Yes,
So
it
that
is.
means, unlike what I was speculating back then, it's not the unbidden. The unbidden is the person, the husk they wear is dead. So that's done. It can't be the unbidden. It's a living person. It is very likely that we're dealing with the Enigma right here.
But
Very-
as we were saying, traces of essence are
Right.
colonizing this flesh.
Right, exactly. I hear you.
Okay.
And so yeah, definitely. And so there's kind of a guess to be made. If it's the unbidden, then we would attack it to expose it for what it is, potentially. But if it's a person, then delve is definitely what we need. And
Yeah,
and
exactly.
we may be in the zone of mending the Enigma if we can, because we can't let it run around loose, especially if it's
Yeah.
mobile. A mobile source of the Enigma, great.
Okay, so in order to use delve, I always forget
Yes.
the key.
Can I add
avatar
a
attributes.
little
Yes.
clarification slash reminder?
Go for
I
it.
don't know if you mastered any discipline.
Yeah,
If
I
you
do.
decided to
Delve.
Perfect.
Yeah.
If you want, and I don't know if that's the case or not, you can decide to spend 1 karma point to add a sort of personal use of the discipline. So something that is not illustrated by the rules, but you can come up with, and that signifies the idea that you mastered so much the discipline that you can use it to achieve objectives that are not strictly represented by the discipline.
In
So
other
the
words,
idea is
we don't have to treat it as a legal text. We can have a little room for this.
Yeah,
But-
sure.
But let's
Okay.
look at the basics just to answer Alessio's question. You were
course.
saying that it says physical contact and an insight challenge, just like I attempted to do with the woman we met, and so yes, that's now you've mastered it, which tells us that you can use it on the dead, but he's not dead, so that doesn't really count. That doesn't apply here. So the only other thing, right? Okay, so that's really the only point. It's basically just an insight challenge at this point.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll get close to him with excuse of okay, let me check. You're a friend of the protesters like me, and I would like to check how are you. And I touch his shoulder while asking this question. So, oh, please, how are you doing? You're hurt. Where the policeman? With this excuse, I touch his shoulder and I use my discipline, so delve. That I remember I've taken also as a focus skill as well, because one of the recommendation in the character creation is having at least one focus skill, of which one could be as a focus one of the disciplines. So I have +3, and so I roll.
So it's an insight challenge versus the resolve of the person you're trying to examine, to delve. 2, 4, 6.
Okay, I have 15 because I have a 6 in insight. I have roll 3 5s, so 15 plus 3, 18 in total.
Excellent.
Let me check. No, I just got 12, so it's okay. And you delve into his mind, and at the very beginning, you can see that this person was one on the front lines of the protest. The vision is blurry because the person remembers the tear gas, the charge of the police. He tries to escape, and he ends up in one of the alleys that it's not the same alley that he exited. And all of a sudden, you can see that these side streets, they are very they tend to increasingly become more and more complex, like
Right.
a labyrinth.
Okay,
He
so
just tries to escape, and the more he advances, the more the walls of this kind of labyrinth, on these walls begins to appear this kind of graffiti, and these graffiti are very strange, on themselves, because they appear like scenes of martyrdom,
Yeah.
sacrifice, revolution. You can see people being impaled on the bayonets or being executed for their crimes, and they're very realistic. It continues to advance until this kind of labyrinth opens to a sort of uh, internal space, sort of like a plaza, a really small place. And on one of the buildings of the complex that surrounds this internal space, there's what appears to be a very strange graffiti on what it used to be, or what it seems to be an angel. So for a moment, uh, he sees this angel and is filled with joy. You can see the mind of this person filled with joy and purpose, like he's kind of guided to some higher purpose. And then all of a sudden, something blocks him on the way, on the ground, and he feels this sharp pain mixed with rage and hatred, and the idea of striking back. He just looks for a moment as he gets up for another person with this kind of flash of image is the image of another protester, but his face is kindly damaged like a doll that has been smashed. So it's kind of like a web of
cracks.
like a web of scars. And he has curly hairs and this kind of look that you kind of recognize as not human at all. He watches the person that is kind of still trying to get up, and then he quickly runs away. And you can see this person now filled with something far greater than his mortal shell, and the idea that he needs to fulfill this purpose to protect something and to be of use of any kind. And as he stumbles and tries to recollect his sense of orienting, you can see him moving through the alleys, and then just before he exits the alley, the vision fades away, and you end up face to face with this person, which is now kind of struggling. He feels like aggressive, like shouting to let him go, and that he needs to go, and he's trying like to push you away.
No, yeah. In fact, to say, okay, calm down, buddy. No one wants to hurt you here. You're bleeding, you're hurt. I just want to help you. Is there any way I can give you an hand?
He doesn't reply. It's just kind of like seeing you as an obstacle, and it's kind of growing, increasingly growing impatient, and he doesn't like to be held or be ask questions.
No,
It
of
just kind of
course
pushes you away.
no, I let him be. So I raise my hands and say, okay, no worries. I didn't want to scare you. Okay, just want to help. You're bleeding. You see.
How about the others? Yeah, please, Ron.
Oh, well, a couple of things. One is I'm just going to play Hazard here. So,
Yeah.
is it okay for us to like move up to each other and talk and stuff like that? Because
Yeah.
okay. By this point, I may have come up to where the Gray Witch is, and I say, "Witch, this is a wounded animal. We should either put it out of its misery, or go and proceed to help the bigger picture. If you have you seen the focus? Have you seen what causes this?
Okay, I've seen a graffiti of an angel inside this labyrinthine Enigma, and then some sort of broken dolls. The vision wasn't super clear since he's in a state of confusion. But if we find this graffiti with an angel, maybe we'll get closer to the answer.
What bit him?
By the way, Adriano, what was the item or the thing? I haven't seen it in the vision, did I?
The thing that
Yeah,
that Biden.
Yeah,
Yeah, the person.
it was the thing,
Ah.
the mortal shell, or the fleshly
exactly.
shell over the inhuman thing, which is
okay.
pretty
That
specific.
probably,
Yeah,
someone has beaten this person on the shoulder. I guess he's the shell of the unbeaten, probably, not just a shadow, because the vision at that point was extremely strong. So I've seen deformed alleys of this town, a graffiti with an angel, and then the mortar shell biting this person. So I guess we must find. Did I see exactly the appearance of this person?
Yeah, you can kind of reconstruct this person appearance. As I was saying, quite tall, this curly hair, black curly hair. The face is very difficult to
we heard this person that we're talking to right now. We already heard him say a very important name. So just letting you know that I think I know as a player who that is, or was, but I don't think my character, who's very clueless about the history here, has any idea what that means.